right. So uh, Nvidia just, well, they pretty much blew the roof off CES 2025.
Yeah, they did.
Like, seriously, I am buried in articles right now. And
I bet.
it's clear that these announcements are more than just, flashy new toys.
Right.
I think this is a major shift in the tech world. Like, seriously, one article I read even called it a full-blown AI revolution.
Wow, AI revolution.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, AI revolution with a capital A and a capital R.
yeah, that's big.
It is, and we're talking about new GPUs, a personal AI supercomputer, which pretty mind-blowing.
Correct.
Self-driving car updates and even updates on their cloud gaming platform.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot to take in.
It is. It's like drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we're here to kind of sift through all the noise and figure out what actually matters.
Yeah, cut through the hype.
Yeah,
What's the signal and what's the noise?
exactly. What's the signal? What's the noise?
So what do you think is the biggest signal here? Like what jumped out at you the most?
Okay, so just to start, just the sheer audacity of these new GeForce RTX 50 series GPUs. Like,
Oh yeah, the Blackwell architecture?
yeah, the Blackwell architecture, like the specs are just ludicrous. Like
Yeah.
92 billion transistors,
Yep.
3,352 trillion AI operations per second. I'm pretty sure I broke my calculator just trying to type those numbers in.
Yeah, no, those are numbers that are hard to even comprehend, It's like,
Right.
yeah, how many galaxies are there in the universe? I mean, it's just
Exactly.
it's hard to even wrap your head around numbers that big.
And it makes you wonder, what does that even mean, practically speaking, for the average person? Like,
Right.
what does that translate to?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is performance, right? We're talking about like a quantum leap in terms of how powerful these GPUs are. And, for gamers, that's the holy grail, right? Like smoother gameplay, ridiculously high frame rates, games that look like they're real life.
And that's what they're promising with this RTX 5090, right?
Yeah.
Like their flagship card.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, supposedly it's twice as fast as the 4090, which is crazy.
That is wild.
And it's not just about gaming. For creators like video editors, 3D modelers, people working with, these really demanding applications.
Right.
This is like a game changer.
Yeah, one of the articles I was reading really dove into DLSS 4, which is their new AI-powered upscaling technology.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting stuff.
And it's basically like AI is inventing extra frames
Yeah.
between the ones the game is actually rendering.
Yeah, so it's like
And so it ends up being...
it's creating something out of nothing, essentially.
Exactly. And it makes the games look incredibly smooth. And the frame rates are just insane. I mean,
It's wild.
it almost feels like cheating.
It does, but in a good way.
Right, in a good way.
Like it's this magical boost to your performance.
Yeah, like I don't even understand how it works, but I'm here for it.
Right, but what's really fascinating to me is that DLSS 4 uses a similar AI architecture to ChatGPT.
Wait a minute. So the thing that's making my games look amazing is related to the thing that everybody's been freaking out about that can write like poems and...
Yeah, that can write code and screenplays and have conversations. Like
It's all connected.
it's all connected. Yeah, it's really mind-blowing to think about how these seemingly disparate fields are converging, like the tech that's making our games look better is also the tech that's powering, these large language models that are changing the way we interact with computers.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of mind-blowing, have you seen this Project Digits thing?
Oh yeah, the personal AI supercomputer.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Handheld AI supercomputer. Is Nvidia about to make AI development as easy as using my phone?
I mean, it's certainly a step in that direction, right? Like making these incredibly powerful AI tools more accessible to more people.
Yeah.
Imagine you're a developer and you can test and refine your AI models anywhere you go.
Yeah.
It's like having a portable AI lab in your pocket.
It really does feel like they're giving superpowers to like a whole new generation of creators.
Yeah, and it's not just about giving people the tools, right? They're also building the infrastructure to support all of this.
Right. I mean, a bunch of the articles I was reading were talking about these new RTX AI PCs, like computers specifically built for AI tasks.
Right, so it's like they're providing the whole ecosystem,
Yeah.
They're not just giving you the ingredients, they're giving you the kitchen to cook in.
Yeah, it's like they're saying, look, we think in the near future, like, everybody's going to be using AI-powered applications for everything.
Yeah.
And they want to be the ones supplying like the foundation for all that.
Right. They want to be the platform that everything else is built on.
So it's not just about gaming anymore.
No, it's way bigger than that.
It's like they're setting themselves up to be like the backbone of like this whole AI-powered world.
Exactly. And I think they're in a really good position to do it.
All right, so we've talked about the gaming side of things. We've talked about the creative side of things.
Uh-huh.
But Nvidia is not stopping there.
Mm-hmm.
They're also making some pretty big moves in the autonomous vehicle and robotics world.
Yeah, this is where things get really interesting, I think, because we're talking about, AI that has the potential to change our world in some really fundamental ways. Like self-driving cars that could make our roads safer, autonomous trucking that could make logistics more efficient. We're talking about revolutionizing entire industries here.
Yeah, I mean, one article was talking about how Nvidia's partnership with Aurora, the self-driving truck company, could lead to like way fewer traffic accidents and like way faster delivery times.
Yeah, I mean, imagine a world where, you don't have to worry about truck driver fatigue,
Right.
where goods can be transported, 24/7 without interruption.
Yeah.
That's a pretty compelling vision of the future.
Yeah, and then there's the robotics side of things. Like I was reading about this Isaac GR0UT blueprint, which is basically for training humanoid robots.
Oh, yeah, that's like straight out of science fiction.
I know, right? Like we're talking about robots that can learn and adapt, potentially even think for themselves.
It sounds crazy, but it all ties back to what Jensen Huang, the CEO of Nvidia, said about a ChatGPT moment for robotics. Like, he believes we're on the verge of a breakthrough where robots will be able to learn and interact with the world in ways that we never thought possible.
So basically what you're saying is Nvidia is throwing down the gauntlet in the AI wars.
They are. They're not messing around.
Like, they're not just participating. They want to win this thing.
Yeah, they want to be the dominant force in the AI landscape. And, Microsoft's partnership with OpenAI and the launch of ChatGPT that really shook things up.
Yeah.
And suddenly every tech company is like scrambling to catch up.
Right.
Google especially is feeling the pressure.
Yeah, Google's been pretty quiet on the AI front until recently.
Yeah, they've been kind of caught flat-footed and now they're playing catch-up.
So where does that leave Nvidia? It seems like they're kind of supplying the ammunition for this war, right? Like those GPUs are the engines driving all these AI advancements.
They are, but it's more than that.
Yeah.
They're not just providing the hardware, they're also pushing software innovations. They've got their own platforms, they're forming strategic partnerships. They're not just a supplier. They're a key player shaping the battlefield.
Yeah, they're like the arms dealer who also happens to be a general.
Exactly. And the financial world is definitely paying attention. Some of these articles I was reading were talking about analysts predicting that NVIDIA's market value could go over $4 trillion.
$4 trillion with a T.
With a T. Yeah, it's a staggering number, and it really highlights the stakes involved.
Yeah, like this is not just some geeky tech competition.
Yeah.
This is a battle for like global economic dominance.
It is, and NVIDIA is right in the thick of it.
All right, so out of all this craziness, what stood out to you the most? Like what has really caught your attention?
I mean, it really is incredible, isn't it? Like just how fast this whole AI landscape is changing.
Yeah, it's like the minute we finish recording this episode,
right,
there's going to be like 10 new breakthroughs announced.
Exactly. Yeah, it's moving at warp speed.
But one thing that really stood out to me in all these articles is how NVIDIA is trying to make AI more accessible.
Yeah, that's a really important point, I think.
Like we were just talking about how their GPUs are powering this whole AI wars thing.
Right.
But at the same time, they're making moves to empower like individuals and smaller players too.
Yeah, it's like they want to democratize AI, make it so that anybody with an idea and a laptop can get in on the action.
Yeah, like take Project Digits, the handheld AI supercomputer we were talking about.
Yeah.
It's not just a cool gadget, it's like a statement.
It's a statement.
They're saying, hey, you don't need to be a giant corporation to play in the AI sandbox anymore.
Right, and that could have huge implications, Like we could see this explosion of independent AI projects, startups, disrupting industries.
Right, like a whole wave of innovation coming from like unexpected places.
Exactly. And it's not just about the hardware either.
Right.
Remember those RTX AI PCs we were talking about?
Yeah.
NVIDIA is building the entire ecosystem, from the tools to the platform to make AI development like as smooth and accessible as possible.
Yeah. They're basically saying, look, we'll give you the ingredients in the kitchen and the recipe book.
Right. Just come on in and start cooking.
Exactly.
It's brilliant.
It is brilliant, but it also kind of makes you think about the potential downsides, too.
Oh, absolutely. Like any powerful technology, AI can be misused.
Right.
So it's really important that we have these conversations about, responsible AI development. How do we ensure that these technologies are being used ethically,
Right.
that they're actually benefiting society and not harming it?
Yeah. One of the articles I was reading talked about this concept of agentic AI.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
Where basically AI agents can act autonomously, learn from their experiences, make decisions. It's kind of mind-blowing, but also a little scary.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. AI agents managing your schedule,
right,
personalizing your newsfeed, even optimizing your home energy usage.
Yeah.
It's incredibly powerful. But what happens when those agents make decisions that we don't agree with?
Right. Or what if they do something that actually causes harm?
Exactly. Like it's this Pandora's box,
Right.
We're unleashing all this incredible potential, but we have to be very mindful of the potential risks as well.
It seems like the ethical considerations are just as important as the technological advancements.
I think they're even more important.
Yeah.
Because the technology is going to keep advancing regardless,
Right.
But it's up to us to make sure that we're using it for good.
So, okay, we've got the democratization of AI. We've got these ethical dilemmas to wrestle with. But let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture. What really strikes me is how NVIDIA's announcements are like blurring the lines between all these different industries.
That's a great point, yeah.
We're talking about gaming, self-driving cars, robots, cloud computing.
It's all converging.
It's all becoming intertwined through the power of AI.
Yeah, and that's not an accident.
Right.
NVIDIA isn't just focusing on one sector. They're building an ecosystem,
Uh-huh.
where AI is the connective tissue.
Yeah.
It's the foundation for this whole new era of technological innovation.
So it's like they're not just competing in the AI wars. They're actually building the arena where those wars are being sought.
Exactly. And they're inviting everybody to participate,
Yeah.
from giant corporations to individual developers.
It's pretty exciting, but it's also a little daunting.
It is. It's like we're standing on the precipice of something truly massive.
Yeah.
A technological revolution that will touch every aspect of our lives.
And we don't even know what it's going to look like yet.
That's right. And that's both exhilarating and terrifying at the same time.
Yeah. It's a lot to process.
It is, but it's important that we do process it, that we stay informed, that we engage in the conversation, and that we try to shape this future in a positive way.
Okay, so we've talked about the big picture stuff.
Right.
Let's bring it back down to earth for a second.
Okay.
What does all this mean for the average person?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah, like how is AI going to impact our daily lives in the coming years?
I mean, we can only speculate at this point, but I think based on what NVIDIA's announced and the broader trends we're seeing, we can start to paint a picture of what the future might hold.
All right, so what's your prediction? What's the AI-powered world going to look like?
Well, for starters, I think AI is going to be woven into the fabric of our lives,
Okay.
Our devices, our homes, our cars, they'll all be imbued with AI capabilities.
So like smart homes on steroids?
Yeah, something like that. AI assistants that can anticipate our needs, manage our schedules, make our lives more efficient. But it's crucial to remember that AI is ultimately a tool. Like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill.
Right.
So the way that AI shapes our world will depend on the choices that we make, both as individuals and as a society.
Okay, so it's not just about the technology itself. It's about how we choose to use it.
Exactly.
And we need to be mindful of the potential pitfalls as well as the incredible possibilities.
Absolutely. We need to be proactive in shaping the ethical frameworks that guide AI development.
Yeah.
And we need to be active participants in the conversation about how we want AI to shape our world.
Well said. All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here today.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind tour of the AI landscape.
And it's clear that NVIDIA is right at the center of it all.
They're one of the key players shaping this future.
But before we get too lost in the big picture stuff, let's take a closer look at some of the specific products and partnerships that NVIDIA announced at CES. So in our final segment, we'll dive into those details and we'll explore what they mean for various industries, for investors, and for the future of technology as a whole.
Okay, so we've talked about like the big picture of AI, the ethical stuff, and even what the future might hold.
Right, right.
But now let's get down to like the nuts and bolts. What exactly did Nvidia announce at CES?
Well, they brought the heat for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, remember those GeForce RTX 50 series GPUs we were geeking out about?
Yeah.
They didn't disappoint. The RTX 5090, it's a beast. Twice as fast as the last generation.
Yeah. Gamers are probably pre-ordering like crazy right now.
Oh, yeah. Their wallets are crying, but their eyes are rejoicing.
But for those of us who maybe aren't like hardcore gamers, can you break down what this actually means for the gaming experience?
Yeah. So basically, imagine games that look like real life.
Okay.
Where the light and shadows are so realistic, it's like you're looking out your window.
Wow.
That's the promise of ray tracing, and the RTX 50 series, it takes it to a whole new level. So we're talking like hyper-realistic, immersive gaming experiences.
Yeah, you might forget you're even playing a game.
And then on top of that, you've got DLSS 4, which is like AI magic.
It is. It's like AI is giving you a performance boost.
Making the games run even smoother, even better frame rates.
Exactly. It's like a cheat code, but it's built into the hardware.
Yeah, so gamers are happy. But what about creators? Did Nvidia have anything for them in this announcement?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I mean, the performance gains are huge for video editors, 3D modelers, anyone who works with these really demanding creative applications.
Okay.
We're talking faster render times, smoother workflows, the ability to take on projects that were just impossible before.
So it's not just about entertainment, it's about empowering creativity.
Exactly. NVIDIA is giving creators the tools to push the boundaries of what's possible.
Okay, so we've got happy gamers, happy creators, but NVIDIA's not done yet, right? They're also making big moves in the automotive world and in robotics.
Yeah, they're not messing around.
So let's talk about their partnerships with Toyota and Aurora and their work on self-driving vehicles. What's the latest there?
Well, I think it's clear that NVIDIA is betting big on the future of autonomous transportation.
Yeah.
They're working with some of the biggest names in the industry to make self-driving cars and trucks a reality.
And what does that mean for, the average person? Like, what are the potential benefits there?
I mean, safer roads, for one.
Yeah.
Fewer accidents, less traffic congestion.
Okay.
More efficient transportation of goods.
Yeah, that was one thing that really jumped out at me in the articles I was reading, was how this could revolutionize logistics.
Yeah.
Like imagine a world where, you order something online and it gets delivered to your doorstep like within hours.
Right, because the trucks are running 24/7.
Yeah.
They don't need to stop for breaks. They don't get tired.
So it's not just about convenience. It's about like a fundamental shift in how we move things around the world.
Exactly. And it's all powered by AI.
Okay, so then there's the robotics side of things. You mentioned earlier that Isaac GR0GRT blueprint for training humanoid robots.
Yeah, that's some next level stuff.
It is. It's like, are we living in a science fiction movie?
I know, right? Like robots that can learn and adapt and potentially even think for themselves.
So what are the potential applications there?
I mean, the possibilities are endless, right?
Yeah.
We could have robots assisting us in our homes, in our workplaces, in healthcare.
Okay.
Anywhere where we need an extra pair of hands or a little bit of help.
So basically, NVIDIA is building the future, right?
I think it's safe to say they're playing a major role in shaping it.
And the financial world seems to agree. I mean, those predictions of a $4 trillion market value?
Yeah, that's not chump change.
No, it's not. It's like investors are seeing the potential here, and they're betting big on NVIDIA.
And I think they have good reason to be optimistic. I mean, NVIDIA's firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, they're not just riding the AI wave, they're like creating it.
Exactly. They're the ones building the surfboard.
Okay, so after this incredible deep dive into the world of NVIDIA and AI, what's the key takeaway for our listeners?
I think the biggest thing is to remember that this isn't just some abstract tech stuff.
Right.
This is going to impact all of our lives in some way.
Yeah.
These technologies are going to change the world, and it's up to all of us to stay informed and engaged.
So don't just sit on the sidelines, jump in the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Get involved. Learn about AI. Think about how it's going to impact your life and your work.
Yeah, because the future's being built right now.
It is, and we all have a role to play in shaping it.
Well said.
Yeah.
I think that's a great place to wrap things up. It's been an amazing journey exploring the world of NVIDIA and AI.
It has. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us, and to our listeners out there, stay curious, and we'll see you next time.